I give the call to the member for Chisholm.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy. How is the Albanese Labor government strengthening the safeguard mechanism, and what will be the environmental and economic outcomes of these reforms?
The member for Barker will cease interjecting, particularly when ministers are being asked questions and before ministers even begin speaking. If he does that anymore, he will not be here in question time. I give the call to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy.
Well, thanks very much, Mr Speaker. I thank the honourable member for her question. I know how important she feels today's vote of the House of Representatives to pass the safeguard reforms is. I know all her colleagues agree with her, because today the House of Representatives sent a message to investors right around Australia, to industry right around Australia and to investors right around the world.
Order.
The climate wars are in retreat, Mr Speaker. Not every member of this House gets it, that is true, but the parliament as a whole and the bulk of the parliament understands it in this House, and I'm very confident in the other House as well. This is important because after 10 years of denial and delay, the time for action is, of course, now. Now, the honourable member asked me what the environmental and economic implications of the passage of the bill will be. Well, the environmental implications are very clear. We would not have achieved our targets without passing this bill and without implementing this reform. That is very clear. Now, that is unimportant to some in the House. Some in the House would be just fine with Australia not achieving its 43% emissions reduction target. Some in the House have and continue to oppose the 43% emissions reduction target, but this government is committed to the 43% emissions reduction target, and we are delivering it, and we're delivering it importantly today. These 205 million tonnes of emissions that will be removed as a result of these reforms are absolutely vital, equivalent to 2/3 of the cars on Australia's roads. That is what is at stake, and that is why it's important that the House does what it did today and that the Senate will do in a few days' time. It's also important economically, Mr Speaker, because we've sent the message to the world. The days of 22 energy policies are over. The days of changing and switching between policies are over. Under this government, this country has one energy policy, and we're getting on and delivering it, Mr Speaker. One energy policy that will be delivered. The Albanese government gets things done. I know this is an unusual concept to those opposite. They're outraged that a government would actually deliver a policy, but we actually get things done, Mr Speaker. We work with the business community, and we welcome the response of the Business Council and peak groups today in response to this government's ability to get its agenda through, again something which has not been seen for the last decade. Mr Speaker, it's important as the world decarbonises that Australia gets its share of the economic action. It was not happening before May last year. Business as usual would see emissions go up and economic opportunities lost. Well, business as usual is not acceptable to this government. We will work with the business community to see emissions down and jobs up, and that's exactly what we are doing.